If you're a new parent, a bad day means you either ran out of coffee, diapers, patience, or all of the above. Stocking up on a cold brew and deep breaths are all you. But at least Hello Bello's got your baby's butt covered. Hello Bello believes all families deserve premium, affordable baby products. With their ultra-convenient diaper bundle subscription service, includes 7 packs of diapers and 7 packs of plant-based wipes. You'll never run out of supplies, and better yet, they're delivered to your door. Set, change, and cancel your delivery schedule whenever you want. Never have that horrible feeling where you reach into your diaper stash and find out there's only one left, and you know that won't get you through the morning. You'll never have to experience that again. With what New York Magazine calls the best diaper subscription and winner of the 2022 Good Housekeeping Parenting Award, Hello Bello will keep you well stocked on diapers and wipes. Go to hellobello.com/fluster to get 30% off your first customized bundle and a full-size freebie product of your choice. That's hellobello.com/fluster to start bundling with 30% off your first order. Don't forget, that's hellobello.com/fluster.
Let kids take some of the lead in terms of what they tell you and what they share. Because if your child doesn't want to talk to you at the end of the day and you are peppering them with questions and you are interrogating them, they're going to shut you down. If you're anxious, that's going to increase your anxiety because, oh my God, now they're not talking to me. But kids learn very quickly what they're supposed to say and not supposed to say.
Welcome to Season 7 of Flusterclux with Lynn Lyons, where we'll talk about managing anxiety and all the other emotions too. We tackle the serious stuff without being too serious. I'm your co-host, Robin. I'm Lynn's sister-in-law, and I'm here to ask your questions.
And I'm Lynn Lyons. I'm an anxiety expert, speaker, mom, and author. I've been a therapist for 35 years. Parenting can be a Flusterclux, and I'm here to help you find your way. I'll tell you what to do and what to say. Hi, Robin.
Hey, Lynn.
Welcome back.
I know, it's Season 7.
Season 7. We took our summer break, which we'll talk about, and here we are, back again.
That's right. Ready to help you all start a new school year, which I know it's a very stressful time for some families. Personally, I love it. I'm such a fall gal. I love the fall. So I'm super excited for it.
I do like the fall, but I love the summer. And I don't have kids going back to school, so I'm just going to make the summer last as long as I can.
Yep.
All right. So speaking of connection and ritual, you and I had a big dose of, and we'll continue to have a dose of it. So this summer, your daughter is going off to college in a few weeks.
Yeah, we're less than a month away. So I'm in that raw place.
Which I remember so well. And I think even in a very early episode, I had linked the Gift of an Ordinary Day, that wonderful...
Stop.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, I've been there and I've talked about it. And I think I told you when I dropped my second son off in North Carolina and I came home and my husband was behind me. He was driving, I was flying, and I rented Steel Magnolias on purpose just so that I could sob. So I'm there. I get it. It's a big deal. It's one of those things that is good for all the right reasons and just incredibly emotional.
It is.
And then the other thing that happened this summer is that I lost my dad. It's still hard for me to say that out loud.
Of course it is. As you all know, Lynn and I are sisters-in-law. So our family has had a difficult year, and we have both joined the club of losing a parent. And I always say to my friends, it's not a club that you really understand until you're a member, but you also don't want anyone to join the club either. It's a weird position.
But what I've also discovered is that, boy, there are a lot of people in the club, of course, and more every day. Just found out that a friend of mine lost her father 2 days ago. Your daughter leaving, my dad leaving. These are stories of loss and then ultimately of connection, because I know that in the death of my dad, I have no regret about my relationship with him, which is an incredible gift. And I'm so grateful for that.
I'm so glad you have that. I remember the last conversation I had with my mom, because I didn't know she would die.
Right.
She died out of the blue, kind of like an aortic rupture.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
our last conversation was this joyful excitement about planning a trip with my daughter to meet up in New York City, which was like exactly how it should have been.
Yep. So that's where the two of us are.
Seriously adulting this summer. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Women in our 50s, the milestones we can't escape from.
Yep. But you recognize and you appreciate the strength of your connections as you go through these things and who you can rely on. You are ahead of me on this. You lost your mom. You lost your grandparents that were very important to you. It is really an opportunity to learn some things about people and about connection and about kindness and about how people respond and react. It's been I've opened my heart to learn a lot from this experience. I'm still learning a lot. It's still very new. He did not die very long ago. It's all very fresh, but this is a part of our journey of life and losing your parents, and I'm in it.
Maybe in 2025, we can dive a little bit deeper into the topic of grief from our personal experiences and also what you know as a clinician as well. We actually did an episode on grief this year about kids and their process of grieving and how different it can look than adults. And that definitely showed up in our family with my kids and how I let them go through the process the way they seemed comfortable to and not demand or expect or restrict. It's a tough thing, but every family feels it.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, let's take a break. There are so many coaches today. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath, and on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs and gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workouts, sleep, even stress management.
All you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and you'll know what's going on with your metabolism, whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs. Then Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for the day based on your measurements.
You can also breathe into it before and after workouts and meals so you know exactly what's going on in your body in real time. And Lumen will give you tips to keep you on top of your health game.
Your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into the fuel that keeps you going. And because it's the center of everything your body does, optimal metabolic health translates to a bunch of benefits. Easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness, sleep, all the stuff that matters to you.
It can also track your cycle as well as the onset of menopause and adjust your recommendations to keep your metabolism healthy through hormonal shifts so you can keep up your energy and stave off those really difficult cravings.
If you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me/fluster to get 15% off your Lumen.
That's lumen.me/fluster for 15% off your purchase. Thanks, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode. The school year is fast approaching, and you want to make sure you and your family are best set up for success. The mental load of parenting is real, but this school year, there is help. Enter Skylight Calendar. Skylight Calendar is a smart touch screen calendar and organizer for all your chores, groceries, meals, and to-dos. It automatically syncs with Google, Apple, and other digital calendars you already use and shows them all together in one beautiful touchscreen display. It's super easy to use and set up. It shows all family events together in one spot so you can see what everyone has going on each week, and events are color coded so you can visually map out your family's plans, and families are more likely to check it since it's always up to date and syncs with those calendars, so they don't even question mom every day about the schedule. You can even get on-the-go access to everything with Skylight Calendar's mobile app, and it has additional fun features that include dinner planning, grocery lists, to-do lists, daily weather display, and weather forecast based on the address of your events. It's that smart. And it's kid approved because your kids will love adding all the creative emojis they can to all the different events too. When the calendar's not in use, you can turn it into a digital picture frame. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. If you don't love the Skylight Calendar, you'll receive a full refund. They offer a 120-day money-back guarantee with free returns. So as a special limited time offer for our listeners, get $40 off your purchase of a Skylight Calendar when you go to skylightcal.com/flusterclux. That's SKYLIGHTCAL.com/flusterclux.
This message is sponsored by Greenlight.
A new school year starting soon, and personally, I can't believe I have an 8th grader on my hands as my youngest. So if you're a parent and you want to make this new school year an opportunity for your kids to learn important life skills and continue building independence, for that, I recommend Greenlight.
Greenlight's a debit card and a money app for families. Kids can learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely, and parents can keep an eye on kids' new money habits.
Then there's Greenlight's Infinity Plan, which includes same access to the financial literacy education that makes Greenlight a valuable resource for millions of parents and kids, plus new built-in safety features to give you peace of mind, everything from location sharing, SOS alerts for 911 dispatch, and car crash detection.
But at its core, Greenlight is unique because it builds autonomy with a chores feature that lets you reward your kids for honoring their responsibilities around the house. You can help kids get into their fall routine more easily than ever and build responsibility and autonomy, 2 things that I love.
And you'll remember to pay them.
Yeah, that's right.
I confess I was not so good about that before, and now I have no excuse.
So, no matter which features make the most sense for your household, Greenlight is the easy, convenient way for parents to raise financially smart kids and for families to navigate life together.
Sign up for Greenlight today and get your first month free when you go to greenlight.com/fluster. That's greenlight.com/fluster to try Greenlight for free.
Greenlight.com/fluster. Okay, we're back. All right, so we have a topic today, and this is sort of relevant to school starting, although some of you may have experienced this with camp and picking your kids up at camp at the end of the summer day, so it's not completely. But I want to talk about when you first see your kids at the end of the day, when you first reconnect. So you're picking them up at daycare, or they're getting off the bus, or you're getting home from work, and how it is those interactions go. Because for one, it's a really important part of the day when you're reconnecting. And also, it can go south, and it's a place where patterns really show up. So just for sake of interest, when I am getting to know a family, I ask questions about different parts of their day because it's very telling about how things go. So I'll ask, morning time, how do your kids get up? How does it go before school? How do you guys get out of the house? I ask a lot about bedtime. What does bedtime look at in your house? I ask about dinner time, because that's a very important part. And then I also ask about after school. So when you see each other at the end of the day, what's that like for you? Of course, we're curious about how the day went. We want to know. We ask those questions. But oftentimes we interrogate kids in a way that is a bit leading, and that we tend to oftentimes react very strongly to what our kids say at the end of the day. And it can really cause us to overreact. It can cause us to jump to conclusions. It can cause us to talk too much, to feel like we have to jump in and fix things. And the more anxious you are as a parent, the more likely you are to do all those things.
What I love about this, and I will hear what you say and really think about this, and I think this is actually why I love fall so much, is that this is a wonderful window for practicing new daily habits.
Mm-hmm. It is a bit of a reset, isn't it?
Yes. So I'm thinking, as you're saying this, how do I reset and take advantage of this new year to start new habits?
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So let me give you some tips here. So the first thing I want you to think about, as always, right? Talk 85% less.
Whoa. There's a great episode where you give what you call sometimes your most important parenting advice, but
Yeah.
and people should go back and listen to it. But just give us a little nugget of why.
Why to talk 85% less?
Yeah. If they've never heard that before, they're like, what?
Because when you're talking too much, for one, when you're talking, you're not listening. And when you're talking 85% less, you're giving your child or your spouse even, you're giving them a chance to sort of express themselves and work through things and talk about things without you jumping in and trying to solve the problem too quickly, and without you then editorializing on everything that's happening. So for example, say your child is anxious about swimming lessons and you are talking and talking and talking and talking about swimming lessons and you're offering reassurance and you're going over all the details and you're making sure that they're okay and you're trying to predict what's going to happen. And you ask that question that I don't like, what's the worst that could happen? You do all of that stuff. It doesn't give them a chance to sort of move forward, to manage their own thoughts and feelings. And also, you are suggesting things to them. You are suggesting how they're going to freak out. Maybe they haven't even thought of the thing that you're reassuring them about. So it's really important. The more anxious you are, the more you need to shut your pie hole.
Especially if you're super duper duper chatty, the likelihood that your anxiety is throwing chatter at your kid's anxiety.
Mm-hmm. It just happens all the time. Talk 85% less. So when you pick them up, at the beginning of the school year, remember, they're trying to figure out a lot of stuff too. So it could be they're starting a new school. They're certainly starting a new school year. There could be difficulties. There could be kids they don't like. It could be figuring out their schedule. They're riding the bus, all that kinds of stuff that happens at the beginning of the school year. What our tendency is that when we pick up our kids, when we reconnect with our kids, if you are anxious, you are sifting for disaster. You are looking for problems. Now, a lot of parents will deny that. I'm not looking for a problem. I just want to hear what happened during the day. I'm hoping that it went well. But if you are anxious, remember, if you tend to be a little catastrophic, there's something called negative bias, which means that we hear negative things and those negative things stick with us more than the positive things. The example that everybody uses is you can get 100 compliments and then somebody gives you one criticism and you remember the criticism. If you tend to be anxious, you're probably somebody who leans toward that negative bias. So your kid gets off the bus or you pick them up or you get home from work and you say, how was your day? Or you say, how did your day go? And they say, well, it was pretty good. I played with Sam at recess and then we had chicken nuggets at lunch and I like chicken nuggets. And then my teacher told me that my handwriting isn't very good, right? And then right away, you're like, oh my God. So then you want to fix the problem and you want to go after it. If when you pick up your child, rather than interrogating them, rather than sifting for negativity, all I want you to do is just nod, give space, show empathy. Really, make it easy on yourselves, guys. Just be like, oh, well, that's interesting. What happened next? Don't lead the witness. The other way it really becomes a problem is that if you know your kid has difficulty in some area, so say you're really worried that they're not going to be able to make friends, or say they have a learning issue, and so you're worried that the teacher's not going to be able to understand it as well as the teacher last year.
Friend issues.
Yeah, friend issues.
Bullying.
Yeah, bullying. Maybe they have ADHD, and so you're worried about how they're going to step in and handle things. They have executive functioning issues. The tendency is to ask a lot of questions so that you can figure out what the problem is, so that you can jump in. But that interrogation shows them, tells them, indicates to them that there is a problem that they should be looking for also. Say, for example, last year, your sixth grader had a really difficult time with Amanda. You pick up your child, you meet your child at the end of school, and you say to her, how was Amanda? What happened with Amanda? Did Amanda say anything? Now, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's not hard to go there. And now your child is now focusing on what happened with Amanda.
Yeah, if we're all very honest with ourselves, what's very common is that you're like, oh my God, I hope Amanda was not in her homeroom. Hey, how was everything? Great, great. And how was your day? Oh, good, good. Was Amanda in your homeroom? like you just make it the third question instead of the first.
That is more realistic.
This actually came up in my own parenting recently where I was thinking about something and I wanted to ask. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm supposed to ask this. I have to wait until they bring it up if it's an issue.
Oh, yeah. It happened in my parenting too. My kids, well, they've both had birthdays, so they are now 26 and 24. And it came up in my parenting too. I so wanted to ask something, but I had to wait.
That's kind of interesting. It's like talk less, ask less. And yet connect more.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And here's the other thing that happens too, is that say you say, how was your day? And they say, fine. Oh my God, that is so unsatisfying. What do you mean fine? Say you say, how was your day? And they go, terrible. So you can say, if they say fine, or they say terrible, or they say, I don't know, you can say, do you have any details you want to share? And if they say no, then let it go for now. They are figuring things out. One of the skills that you want your kids to develop is the ability to ask for help when they need it. And if you are always ahead of that, if you're always sifting for problems, if you're looking to see how you can jump in, if you're going to problem solve, if your child comes home from school that first week and you say, how was your day? And they say, oh, my teacher does not blah, 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 blah. And then right away, you fire off an email to the teacher, or they say, oh, I was hoping that Robert wasn't in my class and he's sitting right next to me and he's so distracting. And right away you call the school and say, there needs to be a change. Robert can't sit next to my son. You are getting in the way of your child figuring out what they need help with, what they don't need help with, and then how do they ask for help? That is a huge skill. And if you get in there and you don't let them figure that out, you're not giving them the opportunity to develop that skill. That's why when you're interrogating and you're finding, give them some space to figure out what's a feeling they can handle on their own. What's a feeling they need help with? What's a problem with their friends that they want to work through on their own? What's a problem maybe that they'll come to you with? If you jump in too quickly, you don't allow them to develop that really important skill.
All very good advice.
Okay, so it is summertime and it is hot. It has been a really hot summer here in New England. I'm not complaining, but man, hydrating has been really, really important and necessary so that I can keep doing the things that I love to do outside all summer long. There are electrolytes and essential vitamins, clinically tested nutrients from the number one powdered hydration brand in America, Liquid IV. All summer, I have one big tall glass sitting in the fridge. I have my water bottle that I take to the gym or take hiking, and I'm just drinking it all day long. I don't have a very good hydration habit, people. I should drink more water. This has been a key to me getting in the hydration that I need all summer. It's really, really delicious. It hydrates better than water alone. It's got 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. It's always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. If you get the Hydration Multiplier sugar-free product, it's got no artificial sweeteners, 0 sugar, 4 delicious sugar-free flavors. I love it. So indulge in hydration this summer with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code FLUSTER at checkout.
That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code FLUSTER at liquidiv.com.
Okay, Robin, we don't have babies anymore, but boy, oh boy, are those memories pretty fresh. If you're a new parent, I mean, there are times when you don't even get a shower, but at least Hello Bello's got your baby's butt covered.
Yeah, stocking up on cold brew is key, but Hello Bello believes all families deserve premium, affordable baby products with diaper bundle subscription services that include 7 packs of diapers and 4 packs of plant-based wipes, so you never run out of supplies. Better yet, they're delivered to your door so you can set and change and cancel your delivery schedule whenever you want.
It's really a busy parent's dream, and aren't all parents busy? I mean, can you be a non-busy parent?
Nope.
It was named the best diaper subscription by New York Magazine and winner of the 2022 Good Housekeeping Parenting Award. Hello Bello will keep you well stocked on diapers and wipes.
Go to hellobello.com/fluster to get 30% off your first customized bundle and a full-size freebie product of your choice. That's hellobello.com/fluster to start bundling with 30% off your first order.
Don't forget, that's hellobello.com/fluster.
There's some things in life that are okay to be a total crapshoot, like trying a new type of milk in your coffee.
The oat milk was terrible.
Or an Amazon impulse buy.
The underwear was weird.
Okay, well, what about serving your toddler a new pasta shape?
That is truly a crapshoot. That truly
Yes,
is.
it is. Yeah, but you know what shouldn't be is finding a right doctor. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment.
Yeah, we're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skin care, and much, much more.
You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, where they're located, and who are a good fit for any medical need you may have. And you can choose those that are highly rated by verified patients. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score some same-day appointments.
This is such a good app to use because we know with families things come up. You've got swimmer's ear, you've got a UTI, you've got poison ivy, you've got a concussion. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Fluster to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/Fluster. ZocDoc.com/Fluster.
Okay, so now back to the show.
One tip, I think I started doing this in two reasons. One, another mom friend of mine told me that that's what she does. And then it aligned with your advice of how to not interrogate. So when your kid gets in the car, do you know what I say? I'm happy to see you.
Oh, yep. Don't even ask a question.
Don't even ask a question.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see you. And obviously when they're little, they usually are like, I'm happy to see you too. I have 2 teens now. You know, they're still like, yeah, happy to see you too. And then for some reason that kind of takes the edge off because I've made contact, but I have questions in my head, but I'm able to hold them at bay because it gives them the space. Maybe they lead with something.
I have talked to a lot of kids and a lot of parents also who say that they dread the kid getting off the school bus, or the child will say, oh, I dread when I first see my parent because I'm going to be peppered with questions. There's going to be an interrogation. And so kids start to think ahead. Okay, oh, my mom is going to ask me about this. My dad's going to ask me about this. And so when you remove that pattern, then they will start offering stuff to you in a different way. And things will bubble up and they will be telling you about what they think is important, not what you think is important. For example, your child gets off the school bus or you reconnect at the end of the day and you say, how did your math test go? If that's the first question out of your mouth, what are you saying to your child? The most important part of your day for me was your grade. And when you say, like you say, I'm happy to see you, what are you saying? The most important part of your day was reconnecting and seeing your child at the end of the day. It's a very different message. The other question that you can ask that I like as a question is to just say, did anything interesting happen today?
That's also a yes or no question. And those aren't very effective. So instead, I also learned this from you over the years too, because you love the how questions.
Yes.
One of the things, if we were to role play, right? Pretend I'm your mom and I'm picking you up from school.
Okay.
Hi, Linny, I'm happy to see you.
Hi, Mom. Happy to see you too.
Well, you saw a lot of people today. Who looked the most different from the last day of school that you saw them? Who changed the most?
Oh, I think Frankie grew about 2 inches. And you know that girl that had that long, long red hair down to her butt? She cut it short.
Oh, how does it look now?
I liked it better long.
Mm-hmm. And the other one is, did anybody dye their hair a different color?
Mom, no.
That actually happened with us. My son was in kindergarten and he was like, I have a new friend and he has blue hair. And we were like, oh, they have a Grover daw at school. And we had learned that in fact, he really did have dyed his blue hair.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're right. You want to avoid those yes or no questions. It's almost like the kids don't want you to be so earnest at the end of the day. Don't ask this every day, but I love the question of, did anything happen today that you were proud of? Or I guess if you were going to ask it yes or no, like what happened today that you were proud of? What did you do today that you were proud of? And that can be positive and negative. They can say, oh, I was so proud I was able to get across the monkey bars. Or they can say, well, somebody was really mean to me and I was really proud that I went to the teacher and said I needed help. So it can be both a positive and negative. I love your, oh, I'm so happy to see you, because you're greeting them with lightness rather than sort of like, this is intense, or this is important, or there's a lot that's riding on what you say next. Remember also, at the end of the day, they're tired. They're tired. They just did a whole school day. It may not be the time for you to ask for a full report of what they did and how their day was. It is not their job. It is not their job to come home and give you a play-by-play of how their day went. That's not their responsibility. So you open it up and you make room for them to talk about things without the interrogation and without the intensity and without that earnestness that certainly can turn off tweens and teens for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have young kids and you practice these skills when they're young, and they're going to be a little more amenable when they're young, I have found it makes all of the conversations a little bit easier now that they're older too. It's worth putting the time in. I think some people might find these conversational skills more difficult. And that's why I still think leading with, it's really nice to see you. I'm so happy to see you. And then you could even throw out something like, I had a very silly day, some sort of adjective, and you could say that and then just see what they do. Just be quiet and listen to see what they say from the back seat.
If you have trouble, if you feel like you're a family that has difficulty talking about these things, if it doesn't come naturally to you, there's a great game that somebody else told me about that they did, is they would write down a whole bunch of feelings. So you can go online and find a sheet that has 100 different feelings. You cut them up, you put them in a jar, and then at dinner, everybody goes in and pulls out a feeling and talks about something that happened to them that day. So you pull out frustrated, or you pull out happy, or you pull out annoyed, and that helps with that emotional literacy if this is something that doesn't come naturally to you. But the main sort of moral of the story here is that let kids take some of the lead in terms of what they tell you and what they share. Because if your child doesn't want to talk to you at the end of the day and you are peppering them with questions and you are interrogating them, they're going to shut you down. If you're anxious, that's going to increase your anxiety because, oh my God, now they're not talking to me. But kids learn very quickly what they're supposed to say and not supposed to say. And if you freak out, or if you immediately jump in and try and problem solve, or if you talk 85% more instead of 85% less, they're going to start to be very selective about what they share with you because they don't want to go through that process. So make it easy for them to share at the end of the day rather than making it a chore for them to share at the end of the day.
A footnote, because you've said this many times in different ways on different episodes, if you respond with their report of whatever happened with really big reactions, they don't really want to deal with that again. If they tell you some sort of drama that happened on the playground and you're like so incredulous that this happened, they don't want to tell you anymore.
Yeah. Should I call your teacher? I think I should call your teacher. That is terrible. I can't believe that happened. And you're like, oh God, it was no big deal. We fixed it, Mom. That's what happens. So you really want to have a big sweet spot. I talk about this a lot, a big sweet spot. And it's really okay for you to just say, oh my gosh, or huh, or wow. You don't have to jump in and fix and solve and take action. Sometimes you can say, is there anything you want me to do about this? And they'll probably go, no, we got it. Or wonderfully, they might say, it would be really helpful if you did this. That's the skill you're trying to teach them, to know the difference.
I'm reminiscing about my kids when they were younger in those elementary school days, those first few days of school, when I was really on my game. And by no means did I have the wherewithal to do this every day. But when I had like a day, I sort of thought a step ahead. You pick them up, it's still hot, it's August or September, they're tired. You go home and you just say, I'm happy to see you. Let's go home and rest a little bit. They want to sit in front of their favorite show. And then I would have a plate of cut up vegetables that were for me, in air quotes. So I'd have vegetables and like hummus or whatever, and I would have a few, and then they would have to eat it because they were starving. And it was like the best time to get them to try new vegetables. And then you just let the conversation kind of happen in that way. And then it's like, and if they say nothing, at least you got some vegetables in them.
Yeah, that's true. And that's a win.
It is such a win.
That's a win. Yeah. Just recognize that at the end of the school day, you're tired, they're tired. It's not a time for interrogation. Thanks for listening. And if you found this podcast helpful, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other people find this information.
And if you'd like to dig deeper on any of these topics, we have specialized playlists on our Spotify profile, and the link is in the show notes. Topics like teens, depression, and OCD. Bye, Lynn.
Bye, Robin.
I'd like to introduce you to the Minimalist Moms podcast. It's hard enough being a mom, and the last thing you need is stress from too much stuff and an overcrowded schedule. For too long, I lived with the mindset that bigger was better, and the more I added to my life, instead of feeling better, I felt overwhelmed. It was time for a radical new mindset. Less is more. I'm not into extremes. I didn't throw everything away. My brand of minimalism is more about adding than subtracting. Get rid of the excess to make room for what you love. In other words, it's about living life with purpose. I hope you'll listen in, and my guest and myself can inspire you to think more and do with less. The Minimalist Moms podcast, available wherever you listen to podcasts.